The Broncos have informed Russell Wilson that he will be released after the start of the new league year. Wilson, $39 million guaranteed for the 24 season. He's got 3 years remaining on his deal.
So Wilson plans to sign with the Pittsburgh Steelers. It'll be
The NFL offseason has been moving at lightning speed, and one of the biggest storylines of the entire offseason has officially come to a close already. So before we get to the content, yesterday the Denver Broncos traded Jerry Jeudy. Earlier today, the New England Patriots traded Mac Jones for peanuts. If you want to stay up to date with the latest and greatest NFL news, make sure you subscribe and turn on our notifications. And now that we get all of that out of the way, work! Look right over here, you'll see all of these wonderful human beings that have been able to make some money by playing Prize Picks. And I give away my picks for free each and every day on my Instagram at @TheFlightMike and Snapchat at FlightMikeSnap. And right now they're hooking up my subscribers fat when you use my promo code FlightMike when you sign up for Prize Picks. And thank you, Prize Picks, for the sponsor. Mic check 1 2 1 2. What's going on, everybody? 2 years ago, Russell Wilson decided to leave the Seattle Seahawks and join the Denver Broncos to form what was supposed to be a super team. And at the time, Denver Broncos fans bought into the hype. And the biggest fans of Russell Wilson's hype was none other than the Denver Broncos front office. So much so that they decided to trade Drew Lock, Noah Fant, Shelby Harris, Charles Cross, Boye Mafe, Tyreek Smith, Devin Witherspoon, and Derek Hall in order to get Russell Wilson. This quickly became known as one of the worst trades of the past 10 years. And if you don't agree, challenge me. Let me know in the comment section down below what the worst trade of the last 10 years is. But the icing on the cake for this trade was the fact that they doubled down on their decision before even watching Russell Wilson take a single snap, deciding to give Russell Wilson a 5-year, $245 million contract extension. This was done before he even took a single snap for the Denver Broncos. The Denver Broncos had Nathaniel Hackett as their head coach, primarily because plan A clearly was to lure over Aaron Rodgers, and the results were disastrous. Russell Wilson led the Denver Broncos to 4 victories, had his career low in completion percentage, threw for 16 touchdowns and 11 interceptions, was memed mercilessly for missing wide open reads, and literally drove his wide receivers so insane from him missing his read that KJ Hamler took his helmet off and slammed it on the field in frustration. But the Denver Broncos were stuck, so they decided to swing another brilliant trade, which was a trade for Sean Payton in hopes of fixing Russell Wilson. And in this particular case, they were kind of successful. In year 2, Russell Wilson threw 26 touchdowns and 8 interceptions and completed 66.4% of his passes. The Denver Broncos went 7-8 when Russell Wilson was under center, and then they decided to release him. The reason? Well, it depends on who you ask. If you ask Russell Wilson, he'll say it had something to do with his injury guarantee.
They came up to me during the bye week and beginning the bye week on Monday or Tuesday, and they told me that if I didn't change my contract, my injury guarantee, that I'd be, I'd be benched for the rest of the year. And I think we had 9 games left or so. I was definitely disappointed about it. NFLPA and NFL got involved or whatever, I think, but at some point. But I think, for me, I came here to play here, to win. I want to be here. I want to play here. I want to be able to win here. I want to win championships here.
If you ask Sean Payton, he'll say he had to point the blame finger at someone.
It looks like Russ is taking the brunt of the blame.
Well, I get that. And yet, I can't replace the entire offensive line. I can't bring in 5 new receivers. And if it continues over a period of time, then there'll be another guy here talking to you as well.
But at the end of the day, the Broncos released Russell Wilson. And the reason why this was unprecedented is Russell Wilson could essentially go to any team of his choosing, play on a veteran minimum contract, something that you don't typically see done. My personal prediction as to where Russell Wilson should go was between the Minnesota Vikings and the Las Vegas Raiders. And it seems like I was absolutely wrong because according to Adam Schefter, 9-time Pro Bowl quarterback and former Super Bowl champion Russell Wilson plans to sign with the Pittsburgh Steelers. Per league sources, Wilson will sign a team-friendly 1-year deal in which the Broncos will wind up paying $38 million of his salary while Wilson wears the black and yellow. I love how every single insider has to remind us that the Denver Broncos were so dumb that they literally signed this man to a contract extension and cut him before the contract extension even began. Now, Russell Wilson visited with the Steelers officials in Pittsburgh for over 6 hours Friday. He met with, amongst others, Steelers head coach Mike Tomlin and new offensive coordinator Arthur Smith. The two sides had a mutual interest that led to their one-year deal. Now, Josina Anderson probably had my favorite bit of reporting on this entire topic starting on Friday, which I wanted to bring you guys an update on this on Friday, but then the Denver Broncos traded Jerry Jeudy to the Browns and things were just moving so quick in free agency that I couldn't get to it. But I showed you guys this tweet in the Jerry Jeudy video. Heard Russell Wilson had a great meeting in Pittsburgh so far. I was told he sat with Steelers offensive coordinator Arthur Smith for hours and that he looked happy. I was also told that Wilson did his homework, reaching out to some players in advance. Now you might be thinking, Mike, that's just a regular tweet. And then you read the very bottom. Mike Tomlin moves like the G in lasagna, so we'll see how much carryover there is after RW retreats to his quarters. And she kind of doubled down on the whole G in lasagna thing here, as today Josina Anderson tweeted out, Mike Tomlin moving like the G in lasagna. Silence. As stated below, Wilson had a great experience on his visit a few days ago. Now, here's where it gets interesting. The teams that he turned down. The Giants were still waiting to hear back from Russell Wilson as of 6 hours ago, but Wilson apparently didn't want to go to New York. I really can't think of much of an advantage of going to the New York Giants at this point in Russell Wilson's career, other than the fact that you'll be playing for New York. That team currently has absolutely nothing going for them. They're about to lose Saquon Barkley in free agency. Their wide receiver core certainly leaves something to be desired. Darren Waller's on the cusp of retirement. I just don't think it'd be a good career move for Russell Wilson to go to the Giants to begin with. But what's really interesting about this is how he chose Pittsburgh over a team like the Las Vegas Raiders, because Diana Russini reported that I'm told if Russell Wilson didn't land with the Steelers, he was open to playing for teams like the Raiders and Patriots if they were interested. Wilson moves on while Denver searches for their next QB to add to the roster. I think the Las Vegas Raiders would have been a remarkable opportunity for Russell Wilson, primarily because you have Jacoby Myers and Devontae Adams over there, along with Michael Mayer, who might take a big step in his second year. You have a great pass rush as well, but it seems like he had them ranked relatively low compared to a team like the Pittsburgh Steelers. So let's call this what it is. The Pittsburgh Steelers had one of the worst offenses in the entire NFL last year. Whether you want to blame that on Kenny Pickett or Matt Canada is really up to you. The thing is, you don't want to give up on Kenny Pickett so soon, because maybe if Kenny Pickett has a full offseason with a solid offensive coordinator, which I know it sounds weird, but Arthur Smith has created offenses that make Ryan Tannehill look good. Granted, Ryan Tannehill had prime Derrick Henry and AJ Brown back then, but my point being that Russell Wilson versus Kenny Pickett for the #1 quarterback position on the Pittsburgh Steelers is a great situation to be in if you're the Pittsburgh Steelers. If Kenny Pickett truly is a solid quarterback and he just had a bad offensive coordinator for the beginning of his career, then you can move forward with him. And you don't have to cut him when he's still on a rookie scale contract. If Russell Wilson proves to be better than Kenny Pickett in camp, and we see part 2 of Arthur Smith resurrecting a veteran QB, and I think the Pittsburgh Steelers can be very, very competitive this upcoming year. There's no doubt in anyone's mind, the thing that has been holding back the Pittsburgh Steelers since the latter part of Ben Roethlisberger's career is quarterback play. Their defense has been so good that it's been able to backpack this team to respectable records. They just need above average quarterback play, and this team could potentially make a deep run, potentially even make it to a conference championship, or maybe even make it to a Super Bowl. So your starting QB is either going to be a quarterback on a rookie scale contract or a QB that is being paid on the veteran minimum, which still gives you plenty of cap space to go after other free agents and fix your offensive line. I can't blame Russell Wilson for choosing this destination, because if the Pittsburgh Steelers improve their offensive line, if they could potentially get a running game, if George Pickens can take the next step, yeah, Pat Fryer moved there as well, potentially Deontay Johnson doesn't leave as well, which the jury's kind of out on that. I think this team can also have a pretty good offense that will supplement their defense. So let me know in the comment section down below what you guys think about this decision. Are you shocked that Russell Wilson chose the Pittsburgh Steelers over the Las Vegas Raiders or the New York Giants? I'd like to hear what you have to say. Aside from that, I'm your boy Mike, and I'm dropping our mic until our next upload.